November is Native American History Month, and here on Up with KREM, we are sharing some stories of Native people from here in the Inland Northwest. And this morning, we are joined by writer and comedian Joey Clift.
So Joey graduated from Washington State University in 2009 and is a member of the Cowlitz tribe. And get this, he also wrote and produced the new Netflix show called Spirit Rangers that recently came out.
Yeah.
So good morning, Joey. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Let's talk a little bit about Spirit Rangers, though, and tell us a little bit about the show.
Oh yeah, good morning and go Cougs to everybody.
Woo, go Cougs.
So excited to be here. Yeah, go Cougs. Spirit Rangers centers on a Native American trio of siblings, Cody, Summer, and Eddie Skycedar, who have the power to teleport and transform into what we call sort of a spirit world, where they can transform into different animal forms that give them superpowers that they use to protect the national park that they work in as junior park rangers and also call home. The show's historic for a ton of reasons. It's the first show in the history of U.S. animation created by a Native person, the genius Shumash TV writer Krista Valencia, with an all-Native American writers' room, which I'm a part of, and with around 100 Native folks on the cast and crew. It's one of the largest collections of Native people to ever work together on an animated production, which is super cool.
That is incredible, and we were just taking a look at the trailer and the video, and the illustration animation is just phenomenal. The colors are beautiful, and it looks like it was a lot of time was spent on it. You know, there's not a lot of representation of Native Americans in the film, entertainment industry. You know, tell us a little bit more about representation in this industry.
I think that up until very recently, just as you mentioned, Native American representation in the film industry has, I would say, not been great. You know, it's basically been, Native people being shot at by John Wayne in old movies from the 70s, and then pretty much that kind of stuff, and Native sports mascots, up until really recently, the past year or two, where we've had this really amazing cresting of a movement in Native American storytelling that we've seen with shows like Reservation Dogs, which just came out on FX and was one of the first shows created by a Native person, Rutherford Falls, which came out on Peacock, Spirit Rangers, which was right behind him coming out earlier this year. And I think that we're finally seeing just like Native people get their due in the media and get the opportunities in the media that we've, never had. Like, though there are around 10 million Native folks in the U.S. Census, which is similar in population size to the Jewish American population and the Chinese American population, we're referred to as an invisible minority because we're just so seldom seen in media, really up until pretty much the past year in an authentic way.
And speaking of, the Cowlitz tribe is actually featured in Spirit Rangers, and so it's so important, especially to have, that kind of representation in children's shows, because then kids who might not identify with Native American people will then be able to see your culture and understand it more as an adult.
Yeah, and I got to say that process has been such an incredible one. We received the official blessing of my tribe. Like, I went to my tribe's tribal council and culture board to receive like an official permission to use, not just Cowlitz characters, but our Cowlitz language and characters inspired by our Cowlitz folklore. We also have a similar partnership with the Shumash tribe, which is the show's creator, Krista Valencia's tribe, to use the Shumash characters in the show. And, I guess that for me, it's like my tribe is very small. There's around 4,000, 6,000 of us. So it's very special to me, not just to work on a show that brings, like authentic, contemporary, modern day, fully fleshed out Native representation on screen, but to have it be like my tribe is just like, I mean, the amount of times that I've cried while writing Cowlitz language into the show is like, I can't even count at this point. It's just, I'm so happy that I get to do that for, Native folks, but also my people in the real way, bring
Absolutely.
Cowlitz
Well, Joey, way to represent. Seriously, this is so cool. Can't wait to watch this. I'll be tuning in. It looks amazing. Can't wait to watch this. And by the way, you can watch it if you're watching at home. You can watch it on Netflix right now. Again, Spirit Rangers on Netflix. Joey, thanks so much.
All right, thanks for having me.